Tensions soar as Uganda cuts defense ties with Germany over subversive ambassador. The suspension of defense ties marks one of the most serious diplomatic rifts between Kampala and a European power in recent memory. Uganda's military on Sunday announced the immediate suspension of all defense and military cooperation with Germany, citing alleged subversive activities by Berlin's top envoy in Kampala, in a move that has sharply escalated diplomatic tensions between the two countries. The Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, accused German Ambassador Matthias Schauer, who has served in Uganda since July 25, 2020, of interfering in the country's internal affairs and backing groups opposed to the government ahead of next year's general elections. UPDF has with immediate effect suspended all ongoing defense and military cooperation activities with the Federal Republic of Germany, said Colonel Chris Majizi, the acting Director of Defense Public Information. The decision is in response to credible intelligence reports that the current German ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Matthias Schauer, is actively engaged in subversive activities, he alleged. The announcement on X, formerly Twitter, follows a fiery closed-door meeting in Gulu on Wednesday between veteran President Museveni's brother, Gen Salim Saleh, and European diplomats. During the talks, German Ambassador Matthias Schauer criticized the conduct of Gen Muhoozi Kainerugaba, Museveni's powerful son and current UPDF chief. Schauer reportedly warned that Gen Muhoozi's social media tirades were inflicting reputational damage on Uganda and called for senior officials to disavow them publicly. What we have tried to convey is we are worried about the reputational damage that this is causing in this country, the ambassador was quoted as saying in viral videos. In response to the military's accusations, opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, called the move a ridiculous attempt to criminalize dissent. They have stated that most of those so-called rebels are supporters of NUP. He wrote on social media, "This is an all-too-familiar script by the regime, manufacturing threats to shield itself from accountability and justify its relentless violent persecution," Bobi Wine said on Saturday. Late last week, Kal Majizi claimed recent arrests and investigations had uncovered alleged rebel plots involving opposition supporters and active economic sabotage, including the destruction of electricity infrastructure across central Uganda, which the opposition has vehemently denied. Kal Majizi alleged that some European embassies in Kampala were funding and mobilizing dissident groups, with German Ambassador Schauer identified as a key actor. The intelligence services are aware about his clearly undiplomatic practices, which go against the spirit of the 1961 Vienna diplomatic conventions, he said. The German embassy has not publicly responded to the allegations, but footage from the Gulu meeting has caused internal consternation. Uganda's UN ambassador Adonia Iber described the diplomatic exchange as a fiasco and questioned how press access had been granted. Meanwhile, Gen Saleh appeared to downplay the controversy over Muhoozi, calling him a Gen Z officer and suggesting he would get him on board if necessary. The UPDF strongly condemns foreign influence meddling in Uganda's internal affairs and will take decisive action against those who seek to destabilize the country, Kal Majizi warned. The suspension of defense ties threatens to unravel a years-long military partnership and marks one of the most serious diplomatic rifts between Kampala and European power in recent memory. What international law says. Under the 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, diplomats are expected to respect the laws and regulations of the receiving state, in this case Uganda, and are explicitly prohibited from interfering in the internal affairs of that state, Article 41. If a diplomat is deemed persona non grata, the host country can request the sending state, in this case Germany, for their withdrawal. However, direct public accusations of subversion are rare and usually signal a serious breakdown in diplomatic relations. General Saleh has held successful meetings with diplomats in the past. This was clumsy. The net result of such a fiasco is a diplomatic fallout, which needs to be managed, Iber said last week.